What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Get a quick live stream in talking about Jason Kelce, who's staying one more year in Philadelphia, 10 years as an Eagle, and I can't believe he still didn't make the All Decade team. What's going on, everybody? Philly J, PAO 1908, Owen Kaufman, Stephen Joyce. What's going on with you guys? Up in here early. I appreciate it. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's start with Jason Kelce. Quick. We all know we're talking about having to address the center position early. Not early, but depending on who's there, the center position is not deep whatsoever. You can get an inside lineman who can possibly play center. They talked about moving, Isaac Samula possibly in the future. We still have to worry about this, about the future for the center position, but it's not a 2020 need as of now. I mean, if somebody falls in the later rounds that you think you can develop, because we're good at developing offensive linemen. I mean, we just are. Look at Jason Kelce. He wasn't no early draft pick. Came out to be one of the best centers in the game. Charlie Chan, what is going on? Charles Smith, what is up? Ronald Mitch, 2 times. Hey, I ain't mad. But Extra Trelly, what is going on with everybody? Kara Poole, what's going on? So like I was saying, Jason Kelce, a late round draft pick, and he's coming back for one more year. Still upset he didn't make the all-decade team, but it is what it is. So with center position being addressed, Jason Kelce, knock on wood, injuries are not a problem in his career. With all the Eagles going down in the last 2 years, Jason Kelce was able to stay healthy, and that's something that's important about his game. He doesn't get hurt. He does all the little things at a size that he is, and he's a little big guy. He moves people in the trenches, and there ain't nobody better than him out in space. Nobody. What's going on, Paul 44? But yeah, I mean, today's Thursday, so this time next week, the draft will be here. It won't be no more talking about what are the Eagles going to do. Are they going to trade up? Are they going to trade back? If they stay at 21, is it Denzel Mims? Is it Justin Jefferson? All these questions that have been banging our heads against the wall with. A lot of people, they're sold on Jefferson, or they're sold on Mims, or they're just hoping the Eagles move up, or they're kind of wishing the Eagles move back. There's so many scenarios at the number 21 pick that the Eagles can do. And also early in this video, I want to say, I heard about the CeeDee Lamb rumors. I heard the fact that the rumor that Howie Roseman is really considering going up and getting a guy like CeeDee Lamb, going up and trying to get that type of receiver. And when I say that type, I mean CeeDee Lamb. Real quick, the tweet that said that he wants to go up there, that he really likes CeeDee Lamb, says if he can't get CeeDee Lamb or if he can't get the top 4. So who are the top four? The guy who tweeted are talking about? Are they talking about top 4? I'm guessing he's thinking Lamb, Judy, Ruggs, Jefferson. If they're not there, he said the Eagles are going to bail out of 21 and move back. With that being said, how do you guys feel about that? And again, I was going to drop a CeeDee Lamb video. I hesitated to do a video on him because after the Darius Slay trade, would I love to go up and get him? Of course. Guy reminds me of DeAndre Hopkins, a guy we possibly could have got. But like I said, the Texans try to fleece us. The quarantine really made the draft hype more than it's ever been. Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree. But at the end of the day, so was going to drop a CeeDee Lamb video today. Got in late. I have some research done and some clips that I was already planning to use if I ever needed to use it. But getting in late, just wanted to get on here with a quick live, talk some Eagles football because it is what it is. But I will be dropping that CeeDee Lamb video tomorrow. I don't want to give too much up, but you guys already know what kind of guy that is. Like I said, he reminds me, if I'm going to pick someone who's in the NFL right now, it's DeAndre Hopkins. Is he a burner? No, but he can get down the field. Is he dangerous with the ball in his hands? Yes. is he able to adjust his body, his frame, track any ball? I love the way he can ingest for the ball midair, two defenders hanging on him. It doesn't matter. His hands are solid. Not too many people have hands like that coming out of college. He got that DeAndre Hopkins kind of hands. He got that Larry Fitz, not game, but hands that don't drop the ball. He's a very, very talented receiver. Charles Smith, Ruggs isn't viewed the same nationally as he is in Philly. Oh, I agree. That is a very good topic you brought up. I mean, nationally, they don't see him the way we see him. I agree 100%. We see him as a burner that we desperately need. We see him as a guy who can do a lot of things, but a lot of people see him as, the second fiddle on that team to Jerry Jeudy, and that other guy, I forgot who's the other receiver that is a junior that's going to come out in next year's draft? I just was talking about him the other day. He's dirty too. He's really dirty. If Dallas gets a receiver in the first round, they're extremely ignorant. Yeah. No way they get a receiver in the first round. Henderson will be great fit for them. Yeah, well, they need somebody after losing Byron Jones. Rex, real 100. Denzel Mims is a beast and will make an impact. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm big on Denzel Mims myself. But at the end of the day, Denzel Mims will make an impact. And in the future, 2, 3, 4 years down, we might be saying, wow, look what Denzel Mims is really doing. But still, you can't discount the talent that CeeDee Lamb is going to bring to a team. A true number one, a true X position. I mean, does it all. I'm not saying Denzel Mims can't, because Denzel Mims can play the X, and he's very talented. And he was just interviewed the other day or a couple days ago, and he said the team that showed the most interest into him were the Philadelphia Eagles. So Twine Eagles 215. Howie Roseman knows by the interview we need a top receiver. I see the Broncos want Justin Jefferson. That'd be they're 15, so if they want him, they're gonna have the first opportunity to get him. Dallas Cowboys are losers. Fly Eagles fly. Tomorrow's my dad's birthday. Well, happy early birthday to the guy who always changes his name on YouTube and always comes up with something interesting. Yo, what's up? Get Jefferson at 21 and move on. Listen, Justin Jefferson had something on his on a Twitter saying something. He wasn't really talking to us, but he was talking about people who think he can't play on the outside. I don't got the exact tweet. I'm actually going to find it after this, and I'll tweet it on my I'll tweet it on my Twitter. So if you're not following me, check it out. Philly_Mike25. Follow me on Twitter. But he was saying it's funny how people don't believe I can play on the outside. I mean, a guy like him, 6'1", right around 200 pounds, 4'3", not as fast as Denzel Mims, not as vertically experienced as Denzel Mims, but can adjust for the balls and do a lot of things. Again, when you stay at 21, you really try to fight over, is it Denzel Mims? Is it Justin Jefferson? Listen, I like both of these guys, and I would not be mad with either one. But if you ask me to pick, I have to lean a little bit more to Denzel Mims. Do I think Justin Jefferson is the better come in and start day one? Yes, especially if he gets his slot where he's, can do what he do. But I do want that X receiver that the Eagles can count on for the next couple years to come. Wait, Owen Kaufman. Wait, so who would want to draft a receiver duo like Mims and Rieger, and who would want to draft a star like Lamb, Jeudy, or Ruggs? Everybody would love that. Joey Z, what is going on? Rex Real, if we get Mims, it's not guaranteed for CeeDee. If we get Mims, it's not a guarantee for CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, it's definitely not a guarantee. And again, at the end of the day, we'll know if we're attempting it. If we move up, listen, the only way we move up, we're not going to move up before the draft. We will move up during the countdown. So it's going to be something along the lines of this. When the Jets come to the 11th pick in the NFL draft, who will be the first opportunity to really get CeeDee Lamb. I'm not saying CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, or Henry Ruggs, being the third one anyways, won't go in the top 10. But the way the offensive tackles are set up, the way the quarterbacks are set up, the way the cornerback, Chase Young and Isaiah Simmons are set up, these guys, them three, Okudah, Simmons, and Chase Young, the linebacker, the corner, and the defensive end will get picked in the top 10. Then you got the quarterbacks and the offensive tackles. So I think 11, the New York Jets have the first opportunity to take a playmaker, but they really, really need an offensive tackle as well. So with that being said, do they say, yo, forget the tackle and let's go get CeeDee Lamb? Who knows? So boom, just say the Jets draft a tackle at 11. Then 12 comes to Oakland Raiders. They just had Amari Cooper, a sweet route runner. Maybe they want to go that way. Maybe they try to go Jerry Jeudy. If that's the case, what I'm trying to say without babbling on is the Eagles are only going to move up to get CeeDee Lamb if they know they moved up and he's there right away. They're not going to move up to chance it. So to either move up right there and get him, or if they don't move up in the top by 13 or 14, wherever CeeDee Lamb could possibly fall, then we're either going to try to hang around and get a Justin Jefferson, a T. Higgins, a Denzel Mims, and or like that tweet said, that if we can't get the top 4, we bail. We bail out, try to get an early second-round pick, and hope to get 2 quality guys at who knows what position. Are we going to talk about any other positional needs? What's the first one that comes to your mind, Sean Jenkins? Of course, I love the linebacker position. I just can't pinpoint where the Eagles are going to go with it. What are they thinking? I mean, the reason the wide receivers are in all Eagle content creators' mouth is because of what we really need, what we want, and we haven't seen a playmaking wide receiver get picked in the first round to the Eagles in a long time. Not named Nelson Aguilar. I really think Higgins over Mims at the X. He's underrated. His route running is top 3 in the class, in my opinion. People are sleeping on Higgins, and we got 7 days before the draft. My CeeDee Lamb video will drop tomorrow, but I do want to get a T. Higgins video out because the dude can ball. Let's see. Did you put the mock draft that you did that will allow you to make trades in the comments in your last stream yesterday? I didn't, but I think Gate City did something for you. He told you it's firstpick.com. That's what it is. Mike, after I saw your Quez Watkins video, I wouldn't be against the idea of waiting until the 3rd or 4th to draft a receiver and grab a linebacker in the 2nd. He's good. A lot of potential. Got a lot of rawness to his game, but can play. I wouldn't really feel comfortable just getting him in the 4th round and him only. But again, the Eagles come out of day 1, first round without a receiver, then everybody's going to be really wondering, what are we doing? Well, what did we get instead of receiver? Did we get a defensive end? That's what Howie would love to do. Did we get an offensive lineman? That's what Howie would love to do. Did we go corner? Did we go linebacker that we haven't did since 1979 in the first round? Or what made us not get a receiver? And then we're going to be looking, who's going to be there in the 2nd round? Because now it starts to get not tricky because this draft is deep. But at 53, the guy who can come in day 1 and play and be a playmaker for you starts to get a little bit more, who knows? Now, again, we get somebody at the 1st and we trade up in the 2nd to 40-something, 39, 42. It's a little bit more easier to get another guy who can come in and contribute, but it's rough. What's going on, Burgay 114? Charles Smith, I love the way Ike Reese laid it out. A speed receiver won't give you consistent production. A big play here and there. Correct. Listen, Tyreek Hill, big play receiver. There's games he'll give you that 3 for 32. Maybe not even that. 3 for 20. That's it. But then there's games where he'll beat you. And his stats, you see his stats, 7 catches for 180 yards. 2 of them catches, he got $140. He got $150 on 2 catches. You know what I'm saying? And the other 5 catches were 30 yards. Again, it's going to happen sparingly. But what a big play receiver does, or a speed guy, it makes everybody else around them have more space. Zach Ertz is working on one-on-ones. Dallas Goedert and 12-man personnel, both them working on one-on-ones. The guy opposite is working in space. The linebackers have to now spend more time D'ing the guys like Miles Sanders. You can't put a slot corner on him. You can't have a safety D these running backs, so they got more room to work. It's a spacing game nowadays. But I do want to talk about a little bit about Howie Roseman's press conference with Wydell. I want to talk about that in a little bit as well. Let's answer some of these questions, though, because Howie was taking some shots at J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I think if Philly Eagles want to draft Lamb, I think they have to trade up into the top 10, but not into the top 5, though. But there is always some surprise early in picks draft day. Yeah, there's always something that comes up and, disrupts everything. I hope so, because if we get Lamb, it's over. Lamb, he keeps calling him Lamb. Well, what it looks like is we are getting rid of this Rasul Douglas, but I don't know much more about it. Yeah. I mean, he's not happy over them Twitter comments that he was doing. Owen Kaufman, if we get Lamb or Judy, I don't think we would double dip at receiver, though. I wouldn't mind. Oh, yeah, if we move up to get that Lamb or Judy, the need to double dip is not as much. I mean, you still want depth on that position, but it will be a lot harder to do that. Troy Dye in the 3rd round would be my pick. Listen, I don't know how long you've been subbed to me, but early in the offseason, I did 2 linebacker videos before the whole receiver content started getting crazy, which I understand it is, but it is what it is. Troy Dye is my guy. I think we can get him over there. Pity tatted, I want CeeDee Lamb now. He said right now. Let's talk linebackers. Well, like I said, here's my thing. This is not saying this is what I want to happen. If we went linebacker 1st round, we probably get Patrick Queen. Or Kenneth Murray. If we went linebacker 2nd round, I think a guy like maybe Zach Baum. I don't know if he'll fall that way. Who else? If we went linebacker 3rd round, I think you can look at a guy like, or actually you would have to use 2nd round for the guys like, that's what hurts, because our 2nd round pick at 53, we don't pick again to 103. When we used to have, and again, Joey Z, when I did that video on Troy Dye and all that, I was talking more around my 85th overall 3rd round pick. We gave it up for Darius Slay, which was a good deal. But now we don't have that, so it's hard to try to wait at 103 and get a linebacker. But there could be a guy like Jordan Brooks there, Malik Harris, Troy Dye, Akeem Davis-Gaither. Now, I'm not saying all 4 of these guys will be there. 3 of these guys are probably going to go late 2nd, early 3rd. I agree, Sean Jenkins. But I think one of these guys can fall to that 103, just one. And that's all we need. And then don't forget about the Joe Bocci, the Willie Gay Juniors, the guys like that. But that's what I see. I see more of the Willie Gay Juniors, the Joe Boccis, maybe a Troy Dye falls, maybe a Jordan Brooks falls, because I don't think the Eagles will go early. I wouldn't, I don't know if they would, though. The Eagles have only drafted 5 first-round wide receivers since 1984. I agree. So that's where it's more of a shocker. And again, linebacker and receiver are both needs. We haven't drafted a receiver, or we drafted what you said, 5 receivers in the 1st round since 1984, but we haven't drafted a linebacker in the 1st round since 1979. So again, betting man would say we have a better chance of doing wide receiver this year than linebacker, but I'm not opposed to doing something with the linebacker position early. 2nd round, Willie Gay Jr., Jordan Brooks, Troy Dye, maybe. 3rd, Josh Uche, Hakeem Davis-Gaither, Malik Harris. 4th and beyond is Justin Stannard, Mykal Walker, and Jacob Phillips. Jacob Phillips out of LSU. He ain't the best, but in the 4th round, I would look at that. Darius held Amari hostage for 4 catches. Murray. Oh, yeah, you like Kenneth Murray over Patrick Queen? I like the idea of getting Lamb. Don't count Howie out getting this one done. Hey, I saw a tweet as well. What's his name? John Clark tweeted it, that in the 9 years that Howie was involved with the draft. 6 out of the 9 years, we moved up in the first round. Now for different things, but we moved up 6 out of 9 years. So he does like to make stuff splash. Hold up. Oh. Mike, what do you think about the Odell rumors, and do you think we could really grab him for a second and a fifth? Now, I don't know who was the exact source that said the Cleveland Browns will be willing to part ways with him for a second and fifth, because every team has beat writers, and some beat writers are more reliable than the others. I don't like to get hopes up without like a more reliable source saying it, but a second and a fifth would be very cheap. Now, will he be a cancer in the locker room? Will he not agree with Wentz? Will he not do this? Will he do that? That are questions that we won't ever be able to answer until we see him on the team. So it's pretty much, would Doug Peterson, even though he's a player coach, would he be able to rein him in? Would the nucleus of the Eagles be able to, get this guy finally on the right track? I mean, New York couldn't do it. Cleveland, Freddie Kitchens was running the circus, couldn't do it. I don't know. A second and a fifth is cheap. He has some injuries, but I don't know. It's rough. Very talented receiver, don't get me wrong. Did Kelce promise for only one more year? I know he has been basically year to year. Hope we draft his replacement in the top 3 picks this year so he can learn behind him. Yeah, he did promise one more year. I don't know if he's I don't know. It's going to be rough, but I do think Kelce's a guy who, I don't know, he's been healthy his whole career. 10 years is, decent career as a center. I think him not getting that all-decade team is what also pushed him like, yo, I'm coming back out one more time. Mike Williams, is there a chance the Eagles get Lamb and trade for Odell? I don't think both of that, but one of them could happen. Let's see, where was I left off? T. Higgins is better than Justin Jefferson. Bet my life on it. Listen, 7 days left until the draft. I will have my T. Higgins video out before the draft. I do like T. Higgins. Can you do a collab with Joey Shakes? He hit me up. So we talked about it on the low. So we definitely gonna talk about it. Zach Baum is off the table. He had a failed test because his sample was diluted. Oh man, here we go. One of them dudes, right? Zach Baum wants to be an edge rusher. Yeah, the linebackers who rather be a pass rusher, I don't know. Depends what your system is, but he does, because he got a lot of sacks in college. I don't know the source, but they were talking with the Vikings about the deal. Yeah, that's where I heard it come from. The Vikings were offering that or something. But again, it's a cheap deal. He's a good player, but he's a player that, he's the biggest diva in the league that we have right now, not named AB. And he is the biggest because AB is not in the league. Is there a way we can pull off Odell and still trade up for Lamb? I don't think so, unless the team is, anything can happen, but just say you can give up a second and a fifth. Now we only have 6 picks. So to trade up to get Lamb, you got to give up your first, and maybe, that second pick might have been part of the trade package. A third 103 pick is not that enticing. Now, if you offer something for next year, it could be something high, but it's still not enticing because you never know where a team's going to fall. Again, the Eagles get these guys, or even without these guys, we make a deep playoff run. Now, our second round pick is dang near a third round pick. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to judge, especially when you're trying to make these moves because you need one more thing to hit that next level. You hit that next level, and at the end of the day, your pick that you gave up could have been a second round, 38th pick. Now it's a second round 60th. If we invest all these resources in receiver, where does that leave Zach Ertz? Why would you pay him $15 a year if you got CeeDee Lamb? So wait, what are you saying? So you don't want to have a do it all receiver? He's not the fastest, but can get down the field. He, great at adjusting in the air and catching the balls, doing all that dirty work, doing all that, just being able to fight for balls and have great hands. Doesn't necessarily mean you can't have a guy like Zach Ertz who can do that too. Because now, guess what? Zach Ertz gets more one-on-one coverage. CeeDee Lamb gets one-on-one coverage, which again, he played in Oklahoma, and everybody he played against, there was no really solid corners D'ing him, but there was times where he was getting triple teamed, and they were still just force feeding him the ball. But again, I think it's going to be rough to move up and get CeeDee Lamb. Just the way Howies were talking, don't count it out. But I wouldn't. I'm a betting man, and I don't think that is exactly where we will go. Would I want it? Would I want a talent like him? Yes, but I also wouldn't want to give up too much. What is the price to move up to get him? Where do we got to move up? What do we got to give up? All that stuff matters. Wambu Shambu, how much do you think we have to give up to get up to 11 or 12? Just like I was saying, maybe something like our first, a fourth, and a 2021 second in Douglas. If we're talking that, I'm perfectly fine with it. If we're talking that, I don't think that will do it, because the 2021 second is nice, but like I was saying, who knows where that second will be, and it doesn't count. Anytime you use a next year picks, it still, dilutes that point system that people go off of, that teams go off of. Bergay 114, Rieger over Higgins or Jefferson. Interesting. What do you think about Usyk? I love the guy. I'm hoping this core muscle thing lets him fall into the second. He started moving up the boards as a first-round pick. Very talented, can get deep. Very good yards after the catch. Runs like a running back after he gets the ball in his hands. Talented dude. Yodat, what up, Philly Fresh? CHB, coach and handle basketball. What's going on, bro? Hey, the Sixers, man. I'm going to get some Sixers content out very soon. They said the Odell trade rumors were false. He's not up for trade. And this is why I don't get into that stuff until it's, JLU, what is going on, man? Always love that little football logo you got going on. My mock was first Mims, second a Usyk, third Troy Dye, fourth Ben Breedson, fourth James Lynch, and for AJ Dillon. Ooh, AJ Dillon, man, you see that you see him just throw guys off him? He is a monster. I don't call Odell a diva. He wants to be a winner, and I can't fault him for that. Brady has diva moments, but they call him a leader. Hey, I hear you. The one thing that I could say difference on that, and I agree, Tom Brady gets babied, and guys like Odell get their finger pointed at him right away. But Tom Brady won. He's already a proven winner, Odell Beckham wins a Super Bowl or does something more in the league, then his shenanigans don't get looked at as bad as a guy who's hasn't been able to take a team. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, his stats are good. But there's been times where when he missed games, the Giants started winning some games without him. And that's the weird thing, It's why. Odell Beckham can have 150 yards and they lose. Odell Beckham don't play and they win. What is that? But the dude is very talented. And I'm more of an Odell Beckham, I don't believe like some of the stuff that he did last year, they over exaggerated it. It wasn't as bad, being a little upset. And like even the whole when he was with the Giants fighting with the thing. Yeah. It's the passion for the game. Is he showing it the right way? Maybe not, but it's better than not showing nothing at all to be Jason Garrett, like a clapper, even though he's a coach, different type of motions. But, Ertz out. Ertz our second and third to move up and still keep our first. Interesting. Jay Kills, what is going on? Thank you for the super chat. Antonio Gibson, third, fourth round weapon. Oh, yes. See, A.J. Dillon would be a great pickup at running back to be that big dog, the hammer, to come in on third downs, to relieve Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. But what you could do with a guy like Antonio Gibson, 12-man personnel. So you got two tight ends. You got your heavy set. You got Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz on the ends. You got Miles Sanders, Antonio Gibson lined up in two-back set. So you got your heavy personnel on. They try to get heavy personnel to deal with that. Dallas Goedert can win one-on-one. Zach Ertz can win one-on-one. Miles Sanders, if they're heavy, will kill a linebacker. And again, Antonio Gibson, he's a big dude. You see his tree trunks he has down there, but he can play slot. He is a true weapon. He's a guy that you can see, he might only play, 25, 27 snaps. He'll be fresh, and he'll be at him 27 snaps. He'll be in maybe 4 or 5 different positions, right out of the I form, set side to the Carson Wentz in the shotgun, in the slot, motion. He can do a lot of things. Jay Kills, I'm a big fan of Antonio Gibson. I see him more as a running back, as a halfback, but the dude can play in the slot. What is going on, Rock the Artist? Depends on who we move up and what we give up. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And my man Charles Smith is still trying to tell this man how to register. I'm dead. I'm sorry. You listened to Mim's interview with Ike Reese today? Yes, I did. I'm sold on him. Dude has the number 1 wide receiver mentality. I'll take him at 21 without trading up. Again, we stay at 21. It's him or Jefferson. Jefferson is talented. He put up something on his Twitter saying he can play outside. Watch and see. I do believe so. There's just something about Mims. JLU, I agree. There's something about him. He stood up. He talks confident. He doesn't talk too cocky, but he lets people know this wide receiver class is deep. It's deep. I understand it, but I feel like I should be mentioned with the top guys. Simple as that. And I heard he likes to work out with Jalen Reagor. Him and Jalen Reagor know how to push each other. They're both Big 12 guys. Man, it is, again, there's so many ways the Eagles can go that there's a lot of ways I will be satisfied. I just don't know the full way that I'm going to be the most satisfied coming out of this, because a guy like CeeDee Lamb, although he's all world, what are we giving up? That's the question. And I know there's certain different things that people are willing to give up and say, but what really would we have to give up during that trade? Like sitting there and it says the Philadelphia Eagles trade up to this, they did da. So then we might sit in there, even though we might get a guy like CeeDee Lamb, we might be puzzled like, dang, we gave up that much? Or maybe like, wow, we got it for that price? All I know is I can't wait for the draft, but I am nervous because once they pick the Eagles' first round pick, there's no going back. And this has been a much anticipated draft, especially with this quarantine. Philly Fresh, appreciate this super chat just because you my guy, 100%, bro. Got you all day, every day. We're going to get you super chats up there so I can make it rain. Mike Williams, can you imagine Carson with the legit number 1 receiver along with the other weapons around him? We have to get this deal done. You're still talking about the Odell Beckham? Again, there's been people saying that he's not really on a trading block. Miles Sanders said he wants that smoke. Miles Sanders is a guy who I want to see. Again, the Eagles are never going to have just a one guy. They're always going to use some type of committee. Now, they might let Miles Sanders touch the ball 20 times once in a while, but they're staying with the committee type running scenario. But I want to see Miles start to get that 17 touches on average, sometimes over 20. I think this guy is going to make that leap, make that jump. I love this dude. Let's talk some sleepers. What do you think about Patrick Taylor, Darnell Mooney, Curtis Weaver, or Tyler Biadasz? Hey, after that little, I did a mock draft. I took it off because of all the things that went wrong in that thing. I'm going to do one again live with you guys. But I looked up tape a little bit more on Tyler. I can never say his last name, Biadasz, and I like him. And he could be a guy who can fall. We get him. He can then learn behind Jason Kelce 1 year and then maybe take that step. The Eagles are very good at getting late round offensive linemen to do work. I started looking at that guy at Boise State that you put me on to yesterday, that true Howie Roseman guy. I'm still working on it, but Darnell Mooney is a guy who's smooth. I think he's very smooth out of this bunch. But again, this is only very little tape study, and I don't like to really give too much. But I'm going to get that real sleeper guys for you. I'm actually going to make, especially on Tyler Biadasz, because I do like him. As us now knowing that Jason Kelce is staying around. He's going to be here next year. You get a guy like that later in the rounds because he fell in a couple drafts. But again, mocks are mocks. He sit behind Kelce. That boy will know how to. That boy will show him the right way. The gambling hippie. I think Whiteside ends up just being a solid slot guy for us long term, not an outside receiver. Maybe. I saw a lot of tall slot work that he did in college at Stanford. So, his Stanford tape was solid. But a lot of slot work, a lot of big body in the red zone type using, but 10 catches. We need some more production. That's what I want to talk about real quick before I get to some more comments. Howie Roseman was like, listen, we tend to look at production and go with production. And it bit us again. We went for a guy who was productive, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and he came in the league and he wasn't productive. He didn't say it exactly like that, but he said that. And he said also that fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, or shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Whatever that saying is, he knows he's been getting it wrong at the receiver position. He knows. He feels it. And with this draft being so deep, I think it's twisting him up. He knows, man, I either got to get up and get one of them guys, or I got to figure out a way to come out this draft with a receiver that when we put on the field, the fans don't come for me. I've always been a Howie guy. His receiver picking, Philly Ferguson, what's going on, bro? Definitely sold on Mims. Oh, I hear you, bro. Mike Williams, Jefferson didn't line up against number one DBs. Was he even the best receiver on his team? That's a case against him. I agree. Imagine if we get Mims and Rieger. Oh, my. That'd be dirty. You could say that about Ruggs too, Mike. I agree, yes. Listen, I want to say this about Ruggs. And I like how Charles Smith said it earlier in this stream. Henry Ruggs is really big in Philly, but he's not as big across the nation because we want speed and speed kills and all that good stuff, which it does. But when you look at the fact that he wasn't their guy, he wasn't their guy on Alabama, that is concerning. The gambling hit me. Thank the government for this. Fly Eagles fly. Plus minus Eagles 9 wins. Oh, plus. Yeah, you must have got that stimulus check. He said I got the stimulus check. Bang. This is the biggest. Prior to this, my man Charles Smith with the 999 was popping. The gambling hippie, appreciate that. Definitely going to get you going on where you want to be. Everybody in here, listen, at the end of the season, this guy started doing a YouTube channel. He's still working on it. It wasn't as much about the Eagles as it was about gambling via his name, the gambling hippie. Very good with, doing stuff like prop bets, over and unders, picking against the spread, all that stuff. I listened to some of his videos at the end. He got a lot of it right. I don't know how much money he won, but the gambling hippie, he definitely does gambling videos. I guarantee he's going to get better as he goes. I think he started at the tail end of last season, but he wants to do Eagles content too. So check out the gambling hippie. He's just starting, so he doesn't have much content up, but give him a little bit and check this man out. Appreciate the super chat. You must have a lot of kids with that stimulus check. No, I'm just kidding. Philly Ferguson, appreciate the super chat, my brother. I like Mims at 21 and possibly Quez Watkins in the 4th. Did you check my video out? I put a video out yesterday about Quez Watkins. So if you didn't, that's exactly where I said he could land with the Eagles. I don't know if it's going to be the early 4th. I think there's potential with this kid. I think he has stuff that you can't teach. There is some rawness to his games, but I think he moves. I think he's going to be around 127, 140-ish. We might even be able to get him with our last 4th round. We got to see how the board looks. Don't want to take too many chances. But again, check that video out after this if you didn't watch it already. It's a good Quez Watkins video. One more time, yo. Appreciate it, Gambling Hippie. Much love, bro. With the Eagles having 8 picks and everybody wanting to trade up, we won't draft a center. We will get one in an undrafted free agent. Yeah, but even that Tyler Biadasz dude, he might be there around that in them 3-4th round areas. So if he's there around the 3-4th rounds, maybe we pull the trigger on a guy like him. But I agree. We get somebody who's an undrafted free agent, let him sit behind Kelce. You know, we're good at molding them type of people. Philly Fresh, 40 people watching, 12 likes. Really don't make me get in my bag. Y'all who ain't like it. Yo, at the end of the day, we got 28 people in here right now. All you got to do is click the live chat button off. Click that like button. Come back in here and show for a little bit more. 41 minutes in. Dang, so you were one of them people, Karen. Oh, my goodness. It's over. It's not good. Hold up. Sean Jenkins, he ain't going early, 2nd round. Who we talking about? Oh, man. Let me see. Where we at? Chris Graham, Mims gone. Either be good or a bust, no in between. So you think he's either going to be really good or really bad. There's no in between there. You don't think so? Now, with that being said, Chris Graham, what is your projection? Really good or a bust? Charles Smith, shout out to Gambling Hippie all day, man. Appreciate that. Yo, hope you're doing big things with your stimulus check too. And like I said, we're going to get that YouTube channel up. Hippie, I will say this. If we get less than 10 this year, people are going on the chopping block. Rock Lee, Judy benefited from Devontae. That's who it is. Devontae Smith. That's the guy I was talking about. I couldn't remember his name. And Ruggs occupying the defense too. It's a two-way street. Oh, yeah, listen. Tua, who they say is going to be a great great quarterback in the NFL if his hip stays where it needs to stay. Did Tua benefit? Because, I mean, if you look at Devontae Smith, watch next year, the 2021 draft, Devontae Smith will be a 1st-round pick. So you had a 1st-round pick in 2021, a 1st-round pick in Jerry Jeudy, a 1st-round pick in Henry Ruggs. Did they make Tua? I don't know. Remember, they are mocks. Oh, yeah, he said that. Oh, yeah, also Jalen Water in space, the defense as well. Oh, and they had that Naheem Hines or something, that running back. He's good too. Oh, my gosh. Mike, how would you rank Shenault amongst the other receivers if he wasn't injured? Dude has crazy potential. If he wasn't injured, I would say I would put him around that Brandon Ayuk kind of game. Brandon Ayuk is better vertical, but I would put him in that league. So late 1st round, early 2nd round. I think he falls a little bit more because of that injury, but yeah, dude was really good after the catch. Brandon Grandison, not sold on Mims. Let me know why. I'm going to check the hippie out all day. Get that man up. The Gambling Hippie, I think we fall right at 10 wins with a tough schedule. It is a tough schedule. I do think it's a tough schedule. Again, going into last year, we were Super Bowl contenders. Why? Carson Wentz taking that step, which I think he's going to be able to do that more this year, really getting off that ACL, being able to roll out more. We got the right guys in here to roll him out more. We should have better offensive weapons, but no matter what, we got to stay healthy. I'll take the 10 on the safe side. Jay Kills 1 Mims, 2 Duggar. I like that dude. Lenore Rye, small school, but the dude is a playmaker. And not only does he play safety, he can play in the linebacker. He can play down in the box. And the dude return kicks. He had like 4 or 5 touchdowns on punt returns as a pretty brolic safety. 3 Davis Gaither, 4 Antonio Gibson. That'd be fire. That'd be fire. There you go. Really good. Hey, I ain't mad at it. Let me catch up to some of these new ones. I'm a little bit behind on the thing. But anyways, if I didn't answer your question because I moved up and I skipped some of them in-betweeners, definitely re-ask the question. I got you. I just put a video up today about Ruggs not being a number 1 receiver. People ain't feeling that, but I'm just speaking facts. Hey, listen, as Eagle content creators, we all have minds. We all talk about the Eagles. Even 2 fans together don't always see eye to eye, At the end of the day, no matter what we say about certain players, certain this, we just want the Eagles to get these all day, get W's all day. What do you think about contributors on special teams? A Hewitt, Gibson, Duvernay, and great returners. Does that give them an edge? It does. Like I said, a Hewitt can run like a running back with the ball in his hands. Same with Gibson. Duvernay's a powerhouse too. These are guys, and Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor's a guy who can return punts. He had a couple of punt returns. That all matters, because at the end of the day, you get in, you're very good in college. You get in, say you take a second or two to adapt to the NFL. Just being on the field and special teams, gives you, get your blood pumping, gets you feeling good about yourself, get you going into the next practice like, man, why was I just sitting down all day? That's all I do is sit, no matter what. I'm just kidding. But, you know what I mean? Shows that you can contribute. Then you start getting practices. Then you start getting PT. Then you start performing. But the guys we get in the first round, these guys got to get on the field. But yeah, special teams is always good, and I like that. And it's been a while. I want that punt returner that, like, when we knew Deshaun Jackson was back there, there was always a chance. When Darren Sproles, early Darren Sproles was back there, we knew there was a chance. You kick that ball in the right spot, we might not have to put Carson Wentz out on the field. He might take it. I really like Gibson. So do I. I haven't did a video on him, but it's hard. But I got 7 days left. I'm about to get at least 5 quality videos on potential Eagle draft picks, some high picks, some low picks. Let me know in the comment sections on whatever guys you want to see as well. If I'm an SEC coordinator, I'm sticking my best corner on Devontae or Ruggs, or doubling Ruggs every play. I hear you. Whaley Assembly, 1 Mims, 2 Hamler, 3 Akers, traded back 4 of 5 OG, 5 trade back, 5 linebacker. Oh, offensive guard, trade back 5 linebacker, 5th and 6th linebacker, cornerback 6. Dang, you just got a bunch of 6 and 7 round picks. Collection, what is going on, my guy? People really sleeping on Jonathan Taylor. Still could be the best running back in the draft. Hey, what do you think about Anthony McFarland, running back? He reminds me of Dalvin Cook. Don't really know too much about him. I'm going to have to look before I answer. Because Mim had a lot of drop balls that he should have caught. He had bad quarterback play at times too. Denzel Mims, the next DK Metcalf, better. Eagles said they don't watch 40 times. They watch game speed. That's important. And separation throughout the season. Separation. Chris Graham, Claypool or Jawan Johnson. Claypool's underrated, but, got that rawness too because of the bad quarterback at ND. Could be a very good pickup for somebody. You're right, Charles. Game speed is all that matters at the end of the day. Yep. We all knew what's it called had game speed. Jalen Reagor. He was 10 pounds heavier, ran a 4.47. People said, what? He's not that fast. Dropped them 10 pounds, then showed the game speed on the other one. My man Charles Smith was the first one to show me ASAP, 4.28. Trade up Detroit Lions to get Isaiah Simmons. Oh boy, would I love that. Your Eagles also don't do great drafting wide receivers, so who cares? Must be the Cowboys fan. Philly, what is going on? What's up, Philly Talk? I think Boston Scott is a good punt returner. Yeah, he has a little bit of Darren Sproles in him. If we trade up for some crazy reason, don't take a wideout. Who do we take, say, 14-ish? I mean, if you trade up and don't take a wideout, at 14, most likely Isaiah Simmons is gone, Akuda is gone, Chase Young is gone. We don't need an offensive tackle. Lane Johnson and Andre Dillard can handle that. I don't know. I mean, there'd be no reason to do it unless you want. I mean, even the cornerbacks like the Fulton or the Trevon Diggs or the Hendersons, I think they'll be there closer to us. I don't know. That would be rough. If I had to take Murray or Queen, it's real tough. I like them both, but I'll probably lean towards Queen. I wouldn't mind any of those guys, Charles. They all fit the scheme. Who'd he say? Sorry. Who is the next best wide receiver we have drafted in the last 20 years after Jackson or Macklin? Yeah, we don't draft wide receivers, but it hasn't been this much of an important need. And so, I'm not. Again, that's exactly why I said in the beginning, I'm excited for the draft, but I'm nervous. The amount of different ways we can go makes it very difficult to decide what is Howie going to do. He's moved up 6 out of the 9 years he's been here. But does he move up this one? I don't know. I really think we getting Ruggs. Got to hold hope. Listen, going into this draft, as we sit there and watch, and most likely me, Philly Fresh, and Gay City Sports will be streaming live, all three of us. We're going to go into this draft thinking, okay, we all going to have our guys we're holding on to. And we're going to hold on to them all the way up until the fact that their name gets called off the board by another team. And then once the Eagles come up, whether it be early, whether it be 21, whether it be late, it's going down. It's as simple as that. Denzel Mims, next DK Metcalf. I hear you. We still have Shelton Gibson. I never understood why he wasn't used as a returner. Man, every time I saw a glimpse of Shelton Gibson doing something good on special teams and or catching a deep ball, they just stopped using him. I'm not saying this guy was going to be good. I'm not saying he was. But every time I see something positive come from him, he just disappeared. I don't understand it either. Spoke on Darnell Mooney. I think he's smooth. I haven't watched enough tape to really talk about him. But Sean Jenkins been putting me on to him. That's why I checked him. Now you talking about him, I'm definitely gonna get in there and look at him. What round would you think Darnell Mooney would be? You think he'd probably be one of them late 4th round picks or even later? Let me know. Sean Jenkins or Jay Kills. Philly. I want Mims over Ruggs. That's the guy right there who's taking a stance and not moving off it. Gotta appreciate that. Oh, by the way, Philly, he does Eagles content as well. I'm not sure how long he's been doing it, but hey, go check him out. I think you type in Philly on YouTube, you might get him. If I'm wrong, Philly, let me know where they can find you. But they call him the big homie. He be giving his takes on the Philadelphia Eagles. if you watch JJ's game tape, he was totally different than what we saw last season. Jason Kelce scared the out of me today. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. But I was happy to see him stay. That makes it more safe to say we don't have to get a guy that early. But again, you get a guy later in the draft who has potential but is a little raw. You let him sit behind Jason Kelce for a year. Eagles are good at letting their veterans teach the next level, the next up-and-comers, and we're good at molding offensive linemen. So, with that being said, I'm glad he stayed. If we draft 2 wide receivers, we won't have room for Gibson anymore. Oh, yeah, Gibson. Listen, I said I never understood why he would do something good and we would move and we would just go away from him. But by no means do I want Gibson to be on the team starting. That means if he's on the team starting, he beat out other players, meaning we don't have much talent. So I liked what he was able to do at certain times, 1 or 2 plays. I just didn't understand why the Eagles didn't give him more opportunity when we had nobody. Why was Mac Hollins on the team so long? I understand he can play special teams. I understand it. But he was straight trash. With our 3 fourth-round picks, what positions do you think we'll address? If we go receiver at 1, boom, done. Then possibly maybe linebacker or something at 2. Number 3, we do something along, depending, maybe line on either side, maybe corner. I would like to come back in the 4th with a receiver, a linebacker if we didn't get a linebacker in the 2nd, because people want to go receiver 1 and 2. Then we don't need a receiver in the 4th. But I honestly think, I'm not sure how it's going to fall, but I would like to see in the 4th round a running back, a receiver, and possibly a linebacker if we didn't go early, because the Eagles don't like to do that. I still hold out hope for Arcega-Whiteside. He really wasn't targeted much. He was a jump ball receiver and red zone monster in college, and I didn't see he get that many opportunities to do that. I'll give you that. On a positive note, he did catch a great back shoulder or over the shoulder catch late in the Giants game at the end of the season. It was 1 catch, but that's the kind of catches you want to see him build off. That's the kind of catches you want to see him make. He had a really good one against the Cowboys the 2nd game too, over the middle. Carson Wentz kind of threw it a little high and behind, and he snagged it. I'm not giving up hope on him yet. I want to see how he does with Aaron Moorhead. They got to develop him. They got to put less on his plate so he knows which way he got to go, to be honest. But I ain't giving up on him yet either. Master P-Dot, what is going on, bro? Not guaranteed we get 2 receivers. Eagles said fans only remember what they saw at the end of the season, but not how they looked at the beginning. That is true. They only focused on Jeffrey's replacement. I want to say this, and I've said this before. Listen, the Philadelphia Eagles at the end of the season were down. Nelson Aguilar, he was trash, but still was a starting receiver. Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson. Out all 3 of them, all 3 of your starters, your 1, 2, and 3, your X, your Y, and your slot, your Z. With that being said, Jeffries ain't coming back. Alshon is a Raider, but we are getting Deshaun Jackson back. I do believe he can give you double-digit games. Might miss some time, but I think he will be available in the playoffs. If he can give us double-digit games in the playoffs, already our wide receiver core is better than it was last year, because Deshaun Jackson can run a multitude of route tree. He's not the greatest, but he can run the route tree. He definitely can get deep. We saw it against Washington, still at this age. And again, even games where he goes 3 catches for 27 yards, he was still valuable because his 3 for 27 occupied the deep safety, occupied not being able to double team Zach Ertz. So his 3 for 27 might turn into Zach Ertz 9 for 135, 2 touchdowns, or somebody else eating because of the attention they spent on Deshaun Jackson. So we're going into the season already with a better wide receiving core than we had at the end of the season. So we might grab 1, we might grab 2. I want to grab 2 just because D-Jack's there for next year. He might be there for the year after, but I want depth going into the next 4 or 5 years. And that's where we can use the depth in this draft, a deep wide receiver draft class. Next year is going to be pretty good too, but I just want the depth when they do go. I would put Sheldon Gibson on the practice squad. Yeah, why not? Oh, he ain't able to be put on there? It's tough to tell with Darnell Mooney and Curtis Weaver. They don't strike me as a developmental guys. Their games are polished. I could see Mooney in the 4th, hopefully. All right, good to know. Not drafting Metcalf last year, really looking bad. Just goes to show how injuries affect people's draft stock. It does. And cone time. That cone time was horrible. That's also part of his draft stock falling. If we draft 2 wideouts, second wideout won't be till the 4th. I could see that. Abdul Jabbar, would you take a little gamble on Dez Bryant? I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to possible money, but I don't think we'll get much out of him. Do I think he can make noise in the red zone with his big body, big frame, being able to do that stuff? Yeah. He ain't running by nobody any more than Alshon would. I mean, what will we have to gain fully from it? That's my whole thing. But again, on a minimum contract, I won't deny anybody who once was good and still has a little bit left in the tank on a minimum contract. Always good to have depth. You never know. Would we have used him last year in certain situations? Possibly. Howie said today, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We've been in this situation a couple times, and I think it comes back to bite me. He ain't missing this time. I agree. Listen, we put pressure on Howie many different times, but there has never been this much pressure on a guy or on Howie than there is this draft for the wide receiver position. He knows his track record when it comes to wide receivers. He knows he took J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, seeing their production and how he was used in college. We didn't use him that way. He wasn't productive. He took him over some other guys who are balling out. It looks bad. He has this draft to regain any confidence left that he has for himself on being able to help pick wide receivers. And again, Andy Weidel has to be ashamed of himself too, because that's VP of personnel. I mean, Howie's not alone in this, but I do believe he's the face. He's the one that's going to fall on, and he got to get it done. Swap picks with the Jets. Give them Earth too. I hate to say it. I love Deshaun, but we'll be happy if he plays 10 to 13 games, but knows if he plays 3 to 5. Last season showed it. Well, my look on last season shows that he got as much rest as he's ever going to be able to get, so he should be able to play a decent amount of games, at my point. Again, should have got the surgery, didn't. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we got to see, but I do want depth in case him going down, and also I want to worry about the future too. If this is really an historic draft class, let's get some guys that no matter what, Deshaun Jackson, sorry, it's getting that time, hour and 4 minutes. Deshaun Jackson gives us a solid 2 years. But what are we doing after that? We'll have some drafts. We could do this. But again, in the next 2 years, I want to compete. So our first round pick should be always later if we're making playoff push. So I think this is a good time to get depth for that position. Guys who can play now and guys who can play in the 2 to 3 year window when these other guys, the Jeffries, the Jacksons, are leaving. About that time. What we going to do about Robert Davis and Burnett? They played, they got potential, but I mean, we draft guys. Say we get the Denzel Mims or the Justin Jeffersons or the Jalen Riegers, and then we get quality receivers in the 4th round, the Quez Watkins, or a 3rd round, Antonio Gandon Golden, Tyler Johnson. We might not have room on the team for these guys, you know. Best player is going to be able to get the spot. It's going to come down to that. We definitely need 2 to 3 receivers this draft. I ain't mad. I agree that there's no guarantee we draft 2 wideouts. I agree there too. Depth at the position, agree 100%. Swap picks with the Jets. Give them Ertz also. You said Eats. I appreciate you taking the time, my boy. No problem, bro. I got you. Trade Ertz, my bad idea, in my opinion. Trading Ertz is a bad idea, in my opinion. Yeah, you got 2 type of Eagle fans. You got the Eagle fans who love and appreciate everything that Zach Ertz did, but know that now is the time we'll get the most value for him, so they're ready to move on to better the team. And you got the other Eagle fans who love what he did and are not just holding on to what he did, but still believe he got a lot of gas left in the tank and he's worth it. Both arguments make sense. They both make sense. The guys who love him but think now is the best time to get value, let's go. And the guys who say, I love him, let him stay, he's still going to be able to produce for the Philadelphia Eagles. I love both arguments. It's a real tough argument. But we also got to talk about this. That's going to come into the play. I think this comes into play more than the other stuff. Sticking with Greg Ward in the slot is a really cheap option with a lot of quality for the next couple seasons. Makes sense. We have to think about the salary cap too, guys. Yeah, because right now we're going to be 25 million or 21 or 25 million in the hole to start 2021. Have you checked out Brian Edwards? I would like to get him in the 4th round. Dude is, starting to get more deeper on him. A lot of people have been talking about him, and I agree with you guys. He's solid. Definitely. Yeah, you got to think about the cheaper guys and what they can bring. You know, the cheaper guys are going to be able to find a place on this roster easier when you're talking about Howie Roseman going into 2021. He's going to have a lot of restructuring to do, a lot of number pinching, a lot of putting this, money, trying to fall it back on the end of these guys' deals. Luckily, the CBA went through. That could probably pay dividends to us making moves next year, but it's not pretty how it lines up to start 2021. Yeah, Ward took forever to get bumped in with the injuries. I don't agree with him as a shoe-in to start. No, at the end of the day, the best player should get the job. It should always be like that. Good to see you back, man. Where'd I go? What the heck? What CeeDee Lamb make on the second contract? 20 million plus per year? Second contract, but you got to think, though, the second contract won't come to what? Year 4? Year 5? By year 4, by year 5. Listen, every year the salary cap goes up. So the salary cap goes up, and Howie's going to try to find a way to get down. So we're negative 25 million to start next year. I guarantee you when we Again, 2020 is coming up, right? This is the offseason for 2020. After this season's over, the whole offseason for 2021, by the time we get close, when we get to the draft in 2021, we won't be 25 million under the hole. It always looks the worst the year before. There's been other times that the caps looked close to that bad. Maybe not exactly that bad, but pretty bad. And as you get closer to 2021 starting, things will work itself out. The cap goes up each time. The CBA played heavy into being able to move things around and let them linger in different years. We'll be all right. But it's still, I agree, best players who play, and you got to have these guys. That's why people talk about try to win with your quarterback on his rookie deal. If the quarterback comes in and he's slinging the ball right away, you know you're going to have to pay your quarterback to be your franchise guy. They cost a lot of money, and then you can't get the same talent around them. But at the end of the day, Howie's a number guy. He might not be able to draft a receiver, but he'll make the cap work. Real talk, I love the reviews. Watching way out here in Sacramento. Appreciate you, my guy. See, I'll be taking a long one. There you go. By the time Cali. Why are we worried about drafting a running back? A later round running back to complement Sanders and Boston Scott as that heavy dude. Maybe Elijah Holyfield gets it done, but we don't know for sure. Besides Sanders and Scott, we have no depth at power back. That's why. See? You guys like Cam Akers from Florida State? I love his tape. I want to trade Ertz only if we don't pay him. We don't need to draft a running back. We can pick one up before the trade deadline during the season. I see another J-Train player on the way. Selling GG. I would easily trade Ertz for a top 10 pick if we can get Isaiah Simmons. That'd be Brandon Graham said today that you hate to see guys leave, but at the end of the day, it's a business. So you have to adjust. If Ertz gets traded, we have to get over it. We are known to have good tight ends. Charles Smith, I agree. And same with you, selling GG. That would be dope. I just said both arguments. I understand the guy who says, Zach Ertz did all this for me, and I still see he can do more. I think he'll take a pay cut, blah, 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 blah. Or not a pay cut, but not that huge contract. I also see, love you, Ertz, did a lot. Appreciate you, wish you the best. You still got gas left in the tank, but your value is going to be this year or even next year higher. It's not going to be as high. Every year from here on out, it's going to go down and down and down. I see both sides of the argument. And it doesn't hurt that you got a guy named Dallas Goedert who can ball. And here's the thing I want to say about Dallas Goedert. Who knows how long he's going to be like, not like he don't like Zach Ertz, but he's like, listen, if I was on my own team, there's many teams out there that would have me as a starting tight end and I can ball out. He might want to get paid. He might want to go somewhere else. So at the end of the day, the younger guy is always possibly the more valuable guy. It's going to be rough. Zach Ertz contract coming up, the extensions we're talking about, depending on what we can lock him in for, the money, the age, the double tight ends that are good, one of these guys wanting to really, not one of these guys, Dallas Goedert wanting to climb up out of Zach Ertz's shadow, all that stuff can play a part in a tough business decision that Howie Roseman has to make. I see both sides of the arguments. I mean, Zach Ertz is Super Bowl 52. I understand that. But again, I love these players too. But at the end of the day, that word right there, that's the most important. We love these players, but even Brian Dawkins left. Even the best players leave. We feel it. But at the end of the day, we support that word, that logo. It's rough. It's real rough. I'm not a fan of the excess use of the 12-man personnel package anyway. Today's league is about spreading the field. I would let Ertz go and run with Goddard. Yeah, listen, I love how the 12-man personnel works when you do it sparingly, because sometimes you start putting that in. They try to go a heavy set. They think a lot of people run out of 12-man personnel, So we throw out a 12-man personnel so much, it's cool if we use it sparingly. But again, you're right. The league is a spacing league. It's spacing. It's a passing league. Everything is changing. You can sprinkle 12 men in. Last year, we had to do 12 man 75% because the best pass catchers on the team were in 12 man. But imagine this. Carson Wentz in the shotgun, 5 receiver set. Who the 5 receivers are? I don't know. But 5 receiver set, no running backs, empty set. That'd be nice to see once in a while. Yeah, Jenkins, I would drop Ertz. As bad as that sounds. See, at the end of the day, football is a business decision, and it has to be made once in a while. 2 times, man, I hate how we got to let go of excellent players just because y'all want to be cheap. I mean, they do have a salary cap. So what you going to do when Dallas rookie contract up? Replace him too? Nah, that's the whole thing. One of these guys will stay. Which one? The younger guy who hasn't proved himself as much but has potential, or the older guy who would cost more and also is older? It's rough. Yeah, but do we really want to overpay 34 years old Ertz starting for us, especially once Kittle and Kelce get paid? Ertz value will skyrocket. 34-year-old? He's 29. Wait, am I missing something? The salary cap doesn't automatically go up. It's argumented with the rise in revenue in the NFL. Loses revenue this year because of the coronavirus. Well, then that might affect the salary cap increase. Maybe. You have a point there, but none of these owners can't donate some bread. I'm just kidding. The only other player I would have kept regardless was BD, maybe Westbrook. Oh yeah, that hit hard, but it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's better if it's about whose contract is up next. Look at the quarterbacks deals. That's true when it comes to the quarterbacks. Charles Smith. Fans talk about Ertz. I remember as a kid, I almost cried when the Eagles let go of Keith Jackson. Let Keith Jackson walk, and he was a beast in the early 90s. You're right. I only seen him from watching old films because I'm a 91 boy right here. But yeah, man, we always lose players that you're like, come on. But at the end of the day, it's a business. People have to realize who is behind Ertz. It's not the end of the world if we trade him, especially if we're getting better. If we trade Ertz for a top 10 pick and get Simmons, we're getting better. And I do understand that you feel Dallas Goedert has potential. He's a guy. Again, we don't have Dallas Goedert. Then you're not feeling the same way because you're not feeling the trade Zach Ertz where Carson Wentz likes to go as well. He can go to receivers, and this year he's going to get deep with his receivers. He's going to throw them 50-50 balls. I can feel it. But again, we don't feel the same way about getting rid of Ertz if our backup tight end is a D+, C- player. But I think Dallas Goedert is very solid. You about the same age as my son, 22, but you have an old school football mind. I'm 29, so I got 29, 22. I'm starting to hit that 30. You know, he's just getting into his 20s. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, old school mind. That's what I do. It's what I do. I feel y'all just love our players. I feel you, bro. But at the end of the day, you got to love that too. Right there. Hey, guys, this will sound crazy, but when Doug Peterson says the new norm, is he saying like Wentz is the new Norm Van Brocker or Norm Snead? Think on it. Knowing 2021 salary cap issues, that's why I said trade back after second-round pick, slam dunk draft pick. Slam dunk draft 2 receivers, first 2 picks. After that, traded back to get more picks and bodies to compete with veterans. But you had a lot of 6th and 7th round picks, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. If you don't want to get rid of Ertz, you are probably stuck in 2017, and still want Foles on the team. Yeah. Listen, I have nothing against the people who really like Foles, but if you like Foles but don't like Wentz, that's what I feel like. What? Appreciate what Foles did, but it's Carson Wentz's team, man. I agree. You can't be stuck. Can't be just stuck. You got to move on. Football is a year-to-year sport. It's a what have you done for me lately? It's a what can you do for me tomorrow? It's a you're only good. You're only as good as your last game. You know what I mean? You got to move on. But again, it's rough. The thing people don't get is Ertz is Wentz's favorite target. If we get a deadly receiver, that receiver along with Ertz will open up the offense. Keeping Ertz will put us in prime shape for next year. I agree. It will open up Ertz. But what people are also saying is if it's not opening up Ertz, it will open up Dallas Goedert, and Goedert has potential. Would we like to keep them both in a perfect world? Yes. But at the end of the day, if Zach Ertz costs more, Zach Ertz is older, Dallas Goedert wants out if he can't be the number one. I mean, all this stuff is not happening today. It's not happening in this year. Zach Ertz will be here in this year. Unless something pops off with a trade. I don't know. But at the end of the day, in football, the younger, cheaper guy who has skill too normally wins out. That's all I can say. I love Zach Ertz. I'll be sad. Turn 8 picks into 12 picks. Might hit on them later rounds too. Oof. Howie, though? We keep Dallas and give up Ertz. Mr. No Yak Keith Jackson got yards after the catch, though. 91. All day. Mike, you should do a stream with Philly 500. We talked about it. If we trade Ertz, who are the possible players that we could draft and pick up to back up Dallas Goedert? Haven't really thought about that, to be honest. Eagle Man 866, what is going on? Almost done. I said I was done 20 minutes ago. We're gonna end this in a little bit, though. I would kill to draft Brandon Ayuk, ASU, in the first round. Is what would you do it in the first round? I do understand what you're saying, though. Hey, man, I know it's rough. It's rough. It's a business. 2 NFL players have COVID-19. Here we go. I wouldn't mind trading Ertz for a first round. That would be lovely to get someone up there. I'll be sad, though. 2 players tested positive for COVID-19. Think season is in jeopardy? I don't know. The way this is going, what it's done to football, basketball and baseball, that's rough. It's rough. Let's stop the nonsense. Dallas is not better than Zach. I agree. We're not talking about better this year. I really don't know. If they ask me, I don't know what I would really do. I see both sides of the argument, but here's what I'm trying to say on this side. He's not better than him right now, but you also got to think you could probably get more good years out of Goddard than you can get left out of Zach Ertz. That's the whole business side of football. 29. How old is Dallas Goedert? Somebody let me know because I'm not sure. I have a question because I don't know at the moment. What did Ertz do against the Redskins where Alshon and Djax went off for 4 touchdowns? I don't think he did much. You're talking about this year early, right? In the season? I need a first or a second for Ertz. Von Miller? Dang. It's sad, but at the end of the day, you're getting better. It's a win. Yeah. Like I said, it's all about that. That's what it really comes down to. I heard Florida said sports are an essential business. Watch the NBA season be just the Magic versus Heat for the rest of the year. I'm dead. Yeah, UFC was talking about going over there possibly. It's rough, man. It's just crazy. Who would have thought something like this would be like this? Again, it's crazy. But hopefully it does not take away NFL from us. Born in 1996. Who was? Oh, Dallas Goedert. My bad. Yeah, so again, here it comes. 29 years old, sign a deal. 24 years old, sign a deal. The 29-year-old costs more. The 24-year-old costs less. The 29-year-old is better right now. The 24-year-old is not better than a 29-year-old, but could be close and will get better if we let him play. What happens if the 29-year-old starts playing still good and the 24-year-old says bye-bye? And now the 29-year-old is 31. The 24-year-old is 26. The 31-year-old looking a little bit, ugh. The 26-year-old is killing us every time he comes to play us on the New England Patriots. I'm just kidding. So that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's rough, though. Yes, game one, if we can get production from our receivers, then we wouldn't focus as much on the tight ends. Ding, 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 ding. I agree. Nah, Frodo, Charles Smith, you're right. And at the end of the day, we played so much 12-man personnel because that was the best pass catchers at the end of the season. We get some receivers. We play more 5 receiver sets, 4 receiver sets, stack bunches, all this stuff we can do. All this stuff we can do. We got to get it, though. Are Ertz and Goddard contracts up at the same year? I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'm scared how we're going to take Chazon at 21 if he's there. Listen, I think Howie's middle name is DE. It's just D, defensive end. He loves him some defensive ends. But with all that being said, I appreciate all you guys 100%. You know, I love making regular video for you guys and chatting it up in the comment sections because I love you. I love y'all guys' opinion on not just my video, but what I'm talking about in the video because you guys know what you're talking about just as well. Love hearing from you guys. Love your insight. And that's why I really love getting on these lives because you guys, you know, you keep it funky, you keep it fresh. And you come at me all the different ways, you know, it's cool. I love it. At the end of the day, Charles Smith always be putting out that fire comments, though. Appreciating him. And if there's something I got to know, if I don't already know it myself, he let me know on Twitter. Appreciate that guy, 100. Charles Smith, you that dude. Young Easy 93. We can trade either. We have the best 1-2 punch at tight end for the next 3 to 4 years easily. We just need one dynamic receiver. Cough, cough, like Odell. All love. Solid dude from what I see. I ain't mad at the game. PA 1908. Appreciate you, ride or die. There you go again. Appreciate you, my guy. You don't even need to do that, and I appreciate you, but thank you for the super chat. Appreciate your time, bro. Time today, bro. I'm campaigning to be a YouTuber content provider. Hey, yo, yeah, we need you. Yeah, yo, you like our agent, you know, or not our agent. You like that, yeah, the provider. You that dude who, you know, preps, like, you know, how Undisputed goes on there, you know, old Shannon Sharp, old Unk get on there. He has his dudes who prep him and all that good stuff. I appreciate it, yo. You be killing it, though. Appreciate it. Extra Trelly, I see you. Where are you hiding? What's good, Mike? Where am I hiding? Where are you hiding? I'm about to get off. We are hour and 28 deep. Later, bro. Stay up. Peace, yo. And hey, right before I get off, do me a favor. On your way out, click that like button. Really appreciate it. Helps me go a long way. But also listen to this. Charles Smith, I don't think you were subbed to me at that point. Early in the offseason, I put a video out. And at the end of the video, I said, when next year comes, I want to do a fantasy league, an ESPN fantasy league. You know, 12-man, draft your team, ESPN rules, blah, 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 blah. You guys know how to play fantasy. I put that video out there. I said the first 12 people who comment want to be in it, I'll write them on a list. And I still got that list. But I got to say this. Out of them 12 people, there's probably 6 or 7 people, because this is when I was just starting to hit that peak of growing. Because I started this 8 months ago, not even, like 7.5 months ago to be exact. So I was at that peak of growing. Anyways, 6 or 7 people said they were going to be in it. And maybe they still watch my videos. Maybe they still want to be in it. So I'll still let them know. But there's people who were on that list who haven't commented on the video in like 5 months. Again, you don't have to comment. Just watch it. I appreciate it. But I don't even know. Certain people could have probably just watched it, said, oh, this sounds cool. And I don't know if they're going to be serious about it. But when the time comes, I want serious. I want 11, because I'm one of them. 11 serious people. We do a fantasy draft. You know, we have make a pot. We have the money. We'll talk about how much it is to get in. And every once a week, I give the results, who's beating who, blah, 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 blah. A fantasy league on the YouTube channel. Someone's going to get paid at the end of the year. All that good stuff. It's first come, first serve, but some of these guys don't look like they're really going to be around for the game. So keep that in mind. Whoever does like fantasy football, and if I have some open spots right before the season starts, we get it. ESPN Fantasy League. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks, great show. Thank you for joining in. Like I said, appreciate all you guys. Hold up. We putting money on that league, Mike? Yes, sir. I don't know what I'll do. Once I get the exact 12 people, and all these 12 people have been some type of reliable at talking on comments or just being involved in the channel, I want to do, because at the end of the day, we're going to put money up. Maybe it's $50, maybe it's $25, maybe it's $100. I want to see what I want to see what the 11 members, we're going to vote. I don't want to go too high where some people want to be in it but can't afford it. I don't want to be too low where like, ugh. So we want to make it good for everybody. But I want 11 solid dudes who are going to chat it up. I put that video out where I talk about your stats, man. Be able to take it if your team's trash. I'm just kidding. But so as we get closer to the season, I already got 12 guys. But like I said, 6 of these dudes went ghost on me. So maybe they're still around. Maybe they're watching now and they're like, yo, don't forget about me. I'm like, who are you again? I'm just kidding. Anyways, I'm about to get off. I just wanted to mention that fantasy league that we're going to do. Trying to do different things with the channel. You know how it is. Isaiah Thomas, I got you. I'm always in yours anyway, so it's cool. It's cool. But appreciate everybody. Abdul Jabbar, I want in all the way from Arizona. Oh, yeah, we'll make it happen. Like I said, I'm going to keep you all in mind, but we definitely got to get something going. 100%. He said, I finally finished it. And now with all that being said, we crossed 1 hour and 33 minutes. Murder Music, I was late, Philly Mike. I'm going to rewatch, though. Appreciate it. Much love, bro. You know what time it is. We out.